Welcome once again. This is your host, Jim Cannon, and this is Yesterday's Memories. And man, we have a show for our viewers today. We're down at the Strickland's home, Sally and Aaron Strickland, and I'm telling you, they have such a unique story that it's almost unbelievable. So we're on location at their home today, and let's go in, start visiting with them, and tell their story. Well, I tell you what, folks, we got a unique show. I told you before that we're going to be experimenting, going out, seeing people's different collections, kind of mix things up. And today, as I said, we got a unique show today. Two of my very special friends, Aaron Strickland and Sally Strickland. And they have a unique, something you don't hear about nowadays. Sally and Aaron has been married 68 years. 68 years. Now, I've been married 53 myself, but I can't even imagine 68 years. God has really blessed y'all.
Amen.
And y'all have been, and they're two of the best Christians I know, so faithful to God, and they've lived in this same home for 68 years. Think about that, never having to move. Never really having to move. Now, we've lived in the house that we really raised our boys for 44 years, but I can't think of living in the same home. Y'all's entire marriage, y'all lived in this home, haven't you? Well, what was it like when y'all moved here? Now, you and Aaron got married. Y'all was, what, childhood sweethearts, is that right?
17 and 18.
17 and 18 years old. And then y'all got married in what, had to be about 1951.
Yeah.
And been happily married ever since.
Well.
Well, I think you have. I know both of you.
I think so too. We've been blessed.
Oh, I know it. And two of the finest people in Phoenix City. And this couple has helped more people. I run into more people. Here just the other week, I saw John Riddle out at Walmart. I was sitting there, and you know, he asked about y'all and so forth. But y'all got married in 1951. You moved here, and you was what, 16?
17.
17, and Aaron was
18.
18. Well, what was it like then? I mean, you know, start the day you got married and you moved in here. I know you've told me, but tell our audience about.
Well, the main thing was that he was draft age.
Yeah.
So we knew he'd be drafted. So we got married before he graduated in June. We got married in March. And of course, he didn't get his papers until his birthday next August, and I was expecting my first child, so he didn't never go to the Army. But nobody would hire him because he was draft age. He couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
And so he worked for his daddy. His daddy run Kenny and Strickland wheeler lining. And he worked for them, and for $20 a week. So, you know, it was kind of tough.
Yeah. And Aaron really stayed in that profession all his life,
yes,
didn't he?
yes.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know, I've run into some guys that I know, a bunch of them, Larry Singfield and other guys that has told me things about y'all about, they'd have probably perished if it hadn't been for you two. Tell me about that, about how y'all would feed these people and stuff.
Perkins died of a heart attack, and he was the only one that had a ball team in Phoenix City. So Aaron took it over because he'd been on the ball team, and he was 18, so he took it over. And he would come home for lunch, and the boys would meet him down on the corner and say, "Where you going?" And he'd say, "I'm going to eat lunch. Can we go with you?" So he'd bring 3 or 4
Now, how old were they then?
They were about 14, 15.
14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm. And so anyway, we fed a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. But it was fun, and we always had food.
Oh, so, yeah. So they just would meet Aaron, and
they knew what time he was coming for lunch.
Yeah, so he'd walk from...
No, he rode. he had a car and he'd drive.
Oh, okay. I beg your
Aaron
pardon.
opened Firestone.
Okay, that
When
was
they built
Firestone
it.
in Columbus on
When they
4th
built
Avenue.
it, they come to him and asked him to open it. And he was the first front end man that had machinery to do the front end.
Yeah.
So,
And
he
so
stayed there.
what, they would flag Aaron down?
They'd
and,
just be standing on the corner. You know, he'd come across 14th Street there and cut through. And then, where you going, Hank? I'm going to eat lunch. Can we go?
oh, my God. Well, was you surprised, or was that an everyday
Oh,
occurrence?
yeah, they were family, and they still are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All I
They
know,
sure
I run into these same guys all over town. And they always ask me, when's the last time you saw Sally? Or when's the last time you saw Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
We'd have starved to death if it hadn't been for them two. And y'all are just so well thought of by just so many people. And y'all's story is just so unique. And that's what I'm trying to do is bring our audience something special. And by special people that, you know, I know we're a history show. And this is history. Really,
Yeah.
because of the fact that I don't know anybody else that I know of today, and I'm sure they may be, and I'm sure they are, that's been married 68 years, that has lived in the same home 68 years. Y'all have a unique story. Now, I know y'all had 4 children. You had
Yeah.
3 boys and 1 daughter. I know you have a daughter that lives next door.
Yeah.
And I know you've lost 3 you boys over time, and
yeah.
you've lost a grandchild,
I lost my granddaughter.
and you've outlived those, and so forth. Yeah, and I know a lot of y'all's family lives in Texas.
Yes.
Don't they? Yeah.
Yes. When my son retired from the Air Force, he was in Texas.
Yeah.
So his family still lives out there.
Well, I know. I just tell people all the time. You know, I've talked to you over time before. You've got, both of you've got such unique stories and live such a beautiful life. But you know, I'd mention something. You'd say, "Oh yeah, I got that. I got that. I got an old paper bag, you know, that Aaron had, and I got this, and I got that." And you can just see your walls where the memories are, you know, what y'all have collected and your photos. And what I really love is y'all live with your collection. And not only that, but I mean, it's just so beautiful. You know, you just sit right here and just see y'all's life and your family around and all. And I know, in a little bit, we want to look at your dolls, because I know you make dolls. You made one for me years ago. Well, you made 2. You know, I bought one for my old boss before I retired, and gave it to her for Christmas. And you made one for my wife some years ago. And in our hall bedroom, it's on the bed in there. So that's our little girl now, you know. And you know, you've lived here. Well, I know over a period of time. When I was young, this was my paper route.
Yeah.
You know, where y'all live today. And I've come along here, of course, on Sunday morning at 4 o'clock. But y'all have saw the neighborhood, like all neighborhoods. The neighborhood I live in has changed over the years. So y'all have really saw y'all's neighborhood change, for better, for worse, whatever, indifferent. But do you have a lot of the neighbors that was here when y'all got married or whatever? I know the Tuttons, not Mr. and Miss Tutton, but they still, the grandchildren live next door or something?
Their oldest daughter lives over there.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know.
And she was born the year after we moved here.
Well, I guess Aaron has lived on this street all his life.
Almost.
Because I remember throwing Mr. and Mrs. Strickland's paper up there, up a block away.
Right.
You know, before y'all.
Right.
Well, y'all had got married because this was long about 1959. So yeah, so y'all had been married, I guess, 8 years or so then. I know y'all's children were small. I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember Pastor Jones had the church over there, and so forth. But you know, y'all have just had such a unique life, and I used to see you all over town toting different people. I guess taking them to the doctor. You just
Take them in where they needed
a
to go.
servant,
Right.
you know. And well, tell me about, you know, you have this friend that every morning y'all take the paper, and then Aaron reads the paper, and well, tell me about the paper. Tell me
Well,
about.
we take the paper, and when we get through with it, we take it up to Faye Carmack. She's 92. She reads the paper. Then I take it over to Shirley. She lives around on First Avenue, and she reads it. And then on weekends, I take it up to Bonnie, and she reads it, so that everybody gets their money's worth out of it.
Yeah. So in other words, you take the paper, Aaron reads it, then you take it to Faye Carmack, and when she gets through with it, what does she do? Call you?
She puts it back up, and the next day when I go to get it,
Oh, okay.
I take her another, and then I take that around to Shirley.
Oh, I beg. Okay.
So she uses
right.
secondhand.
Well, I know you and Aaron both are really some of the regulars that go to McDonald's about every morning.
Every morning, 5 days a week.
Yeah, right.
And this morning they had it sitting on the counter. They saw me getting out of the car.
Is that right?
They
Yeah.
had already rung it up, waiting on me to get in there to pay for it.
Is that right? So y'all basically, it's just like clockwork. People
It's
know what y'all going to
family,
order.
right?
And I know y'all have another kind of unique thing that's because you told me, tell me about your groceries. Now, you don't buy groceries per se as far as most people going to the grocery store.
Right. When we first got married, he was working for his daddy for $20. He was throwing papers at night on his bicycle. And they had a store on the corner, so we would go up to Tutton's grocery store and buy our groceries for the week on credit and pay for last week's. You know, and that, we run it backwards every week, but it worked.
But I know, but now you don't buy groceries
At all.
At all now, you tell me because
You're hungry.
Tell me about that now. Tell our audience about y'all going out to lunch every day.
Well, we just go to Golden Corral, and we can eat lunch for $8.15, I think it is.
Yeah.
And have as much as you want, and had so much to choose from. I could not go to the store and buy it. And my husband never has the same thing on his plate that I have on my plate. We're both satisfied.
Yeah.
We get along fine.
So it's
I worked in the lunchroom for 17 years.
Yeah.
For Susie Allen, so I had cooked enough for 300 kids.
well, tell our audience also. I know that you told me about different people running into you on the street and say, you remember me, and perhaps you may not remember me at the time.
I don't.
But they remember you.
They remember me.
From working at Susie Allen.
Yeah, you work at Susie Allen. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
But
Well, how long did you work there, Sally?
17 years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I had school hours. My intentions were being at home when the kids were home.
Yeah. Right.
So,
you didn't really go to work till after your children got older and so
well,
forth.
Mike was in the 12th grade.
Yeah. Right.
And so I went out to the department or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, I want a job at Opelika Manufacturing. And he said, what do you do? I keep house, clean house, raise young'uns, never worked.
Never had worked before.
Why do you want to go to Opelika Manufacturing?
Yeah.
Because they have the hours at schoolhouse. I'd be at home. So they said, if you'll go to this school, learn how to serge, we'll put you to work. Well, after several weeks, I decided, well, let me go there and see what it is, I come back and I said, well, I went to the school. I didn't tell him one time. He said, well, you ready to go to work? Yeah. I went to Opelika Manufacturing. She set me down in front of that machine. And it did not go slow like the one at school. It went fast. But anyway, I worked and they'd have a layoff and I'd be laid off, and so Charles Adams come by wanting everyone to help him campaign. And I said, is your mama still working at the school? He said, no, in fact, she's quitting this year. I said, I'll go get her job. So I did.
Yeah.
Got somebody's. But anyway, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I tell you what, you know, every single time I come down here to see you and Erin, I notice something different. Do you go to a lot of yard sales, Sally? You just pick things up? Does people give you things? And
do you remember Mary Hendricks Insurance Company?
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
All those dolls down there, when she died, she left them to me.
Are you serious?
Not all of them, but the majority
Yeah.
of them, because she collected dolls and she knew that I liked dolls, and so yeah, and just here, yonder, and everywhere.
Well, can you show us some of your dolls? And we'd like to see them. You know, I know our viewers would. And she makes a doll. We want to especially show you that one. All right, now we're in the doll room. That's what I call it, the doll room. There's a bed here. I don't know if you can see it for the dolls, but Miss Sally, how many dolls you think you have?
I have no idea. You want to count?
No, no, I don't have time to count them, that's for sure. But you just collect all dolls. I mean, not that ain't all you collect, but I mean, you've got some unique dolls.
I don't collect.
And you make dolls. Where's some of the dolls that you made? I know you made these dolls, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! And how long does it take you to make a doll?
Oh, I had to work too.
You made these while you was working?
Sure.
Oh my gosh!
These plus the ones that I sold.
And these dolls, now you can throw that in the washing machine.
Yeah, you put them in a pillowcase.
People that's watching, you don't make dolls now, do you?
Oh,
no. So don't
call me.
Don't call Miss Sally wanting a doll. I mean, they're unique. She's retired from doll making. But I'm telling you, just look at all of the dolls. Now, you say the one up in the corner was your daughter's. That was her first doll.
One.
She's 62 now.
Yeah, 62.
And you made some of these other dolls.
Oh, yeah.
And you just collect all kind of dolls. My wife used to collect dolls. She don't have not even 1% of what you have. That's for sure. And my sister collected dolls. And there's a lot of doll collectors out there.
Well, when the boys were little, my great-grandsons, they wouldn't go back in the back room and play because they didn't like the way Charlie McCarthy looked at them back there. So we had to take him out.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you have got some unique items. I mean, really.
Well, anyway, when the boys were in the Air Force, they'd be overseas or somewhere, and they'd be sending me something they found. And
yeah. Well, one thing, you even showed me one time, Miss Sally, one thing about it, have you ever had something and you thought, well, I don't know whatever happened to that, or I throwed that away, or I gave it away, I wish I hadn't. Miss Sally has kept things. You showed me one time a little lizard that you don't know where it came from. Well, you do know where it came from because one of your sons brought it in or something.
Yeah.
And you brought it to you. And you just kept it all these years.
Right. I mean, why not?
Exactly.
That's why I don't move.
Well, exactly. But it's just so unique, and it's just so organized too. I mean, you can walk around. A lot of people say, well, I just couldn't stand all that stuff, but it's so unique, so organized. And I mean,
I raised two of my granddaughters. And those back there, the trophies and all are Tiffany's that she got in high school. Awards.
Oh my gosh, it is something else. Well, I tell you what, you and Erin have got just such a great marriage, and I mean, as I was talking to Erin, he was talking about how y'all have really always loved each other and so forth, and y'all got such a great life, and that's why I knew that our viewers would really love this, because we do a history show, but this is history, because nowadays it's just marriage. I don't know, it's a commitment, and I don't know, I'm not going to say it's the times we're living in, but it is really, but I know our viewers has enjoyed this, and I certainly have, and just want to appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for letting us come today and let our viewers see y'all. And
the only reason is I love you.
well, I know that, and we love y'all, you know. And
yeah.
And Aaron, thank you. Thank you. Aaron has had some health problems of late, but God's still blessed him.
Amen.
God's still on the throne, you know.
That's right.
And so forth. So, Togar, did you get a good picture of Aaron sitting here?
Oh.
And so forth. So, we just want to thank y'all and for letting us come. And I knew our viewers would enjoy this because of the fact of how you collect and how everything's just organized. You know, you walk in here and I've asked Sally, I've even tried to stop her. I've even asked her if she have such and such. I hadn't stumped you yet because you got it somewhere, you know, and she even had some snuff cans, you told me.
Oh, yeah,
you know.
I got Grandma's snuff cans.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I know your grandma that lived with y'all a while, and I know
My mother lived with us too, and my 2 granddaughters live with us too.
oh my God. And then they've taken other young
yeah.
couples that couldn't afford rent somewhere else that was unemployed when they were younger. They took them into their home. But y'all really have the gift of servanthood and hospitality. I really believe that. And just thank you once again. We can't thank you enough, and I know our viewers have enjoyed this, and I certainly have. It's just like coming home, coming down here. I've never came twice and saw the same thing. You know, just find something else. And Sally would say, well, I was just passing by somewhere, and there was a yard sale, or there was this or that, and I paid $1 a piece for all these dolls, or whatever, you know. And she loves sharing. She told me the other day where she had just give something away to some lady yesterday or something, a bag full of dolls, and that's what they do. They share all their life. They've shared. But remember, you can only see this show on Channel 7, Beam TV. We got some exciting shows coming up in the future. Some people, the other unique people that you will know. I won't mention their names now, and then we're going to go on locations, and we'll also have a special guest coming around Christmas time, and we'll do that at the TV station. So keep watching Yesterday's Memory. Remember, look in the Phoenix Citizen every week to see our times when we'll be coming on. That's Yesterday's Memories with your host, Jim Cannon. Thank y'all once again for allowing us to come today, and we love y'all so much, and thank y'all for tuning in.